What's up? It's your girl Treasure Peace, and this is Boss Chick Gossip on Rappin Lounge Radio. And I have a very special guest today, Mr. Kenny. Can you please introduce yourself?
How you guys doing? My name's Kenny Denna. I'm a local actor here out of Dallas, Texas. I've been doing this for quite some time. I consistently been on the grind since 33, 36 now. And
Hmm.
I've been doing this since I was 6, 7 years old. I've been having this dream as an actor and been chasing the dream and following in the light of God and trying to just keep pushing towards it and going towards it, following the dream and
I think
listening to
that's
what he wants
beautiful.
me to do
That
for
is
sure.
beautiful. That's beautiful. So I remember I was online and you reached out to me for this interview. Well, you didn't really reach out for the interview. I researched your page and I just had to get you on my show. So, congratulations of being casted into Chosen. And you've been doing this show for how many episodes? Because I'm pretty much, how many seasons do they have right now, if I believe?
Well, it's actually comes down to it's seven total seasons. I started doing The Chosen at season 4,
Mm-hmm.
and I was featured in a few scenes on The Chosen 4, and from there I would bounce off to right now I'm working on 6. We've been working on 4. I've been working on 4 through 6, so I worked on 5 as well, and now we worked on the Last Supper. Now we're working on the Crucifixion, which we're doing right now. Next week, Monday and Tuesday, I'll be back on set again as a
Mm-hmm.
servant for Caiaphas, and so it's been a very great journey for the things that we've accomplished as far as the group and for the chosen. It's like a big family, you know. And so just
Yes.
sticking with them is just fantastic. It's gotta live in the present. It's such a blessing, and it's living in that moment. It's you can't take it for granted. You just can't. You just got to keep pushing and follow.
Yes, you do. Can you explain to us some of the feelings that you have experienced through going through the Chosen set? Because from my knowledge of the Chosen is a very powerful show. My family watches it and they are like into it hard. I haven't caught all of the seasons, but for the episodes that I did watch were amazing and they were very touching and very spiritual. Were there anything on the set that you've like experienced God's presence or anything like that very heavily
Abs-
on set?
Absolutely, it's very powerful. The Holy Ghost is real. I get goosebumps talking about it now. There's scenes that we actually, we will get in a scene and it gets to the point of we're not just acting, it's becoming and living in that present moment.
Mm,
When we're doing a scene, we don't just do the scene, we make sure that we live that moment. So our living in
mhm,
that moment is it's so real, it's so touching, and you can feel the presence. Even when I'm around Jonathan that plays Jesus Christ,
mhm,
his presence, you can it's not just he's not just acting, but he's living that character. So we're all of us together as a
mhm,
group, all of us together when we work together, it's like magic. It just happens like if we were to run through like how we're doing this interview right now. It's just a real
mhm,
interview. So it's like that. Basically, you're in a present moment that's, of course, it's acting, but it's real, if that makes sense, you know?
totally it
It's very
does.
sensitive.
Have you guys had any moments on set where y'all just break out in prayers because y'all felt God so much during a scene or a line, and you just got to break out and just let God take over? How was
So
that experience?
there's a scene, I don't want to be spoiling anything, but it's the Bible. But there's quite a bit of some scenes that we actually do. We're crying. We're all crying because the moment is so real. And like I said, that when you get that feeling and that Holy Ghost is in you, and you can feel that goosebumps. It's like you're in it. So
Yes,
you're really
yes.
feeling that, you know? And so it's like it's something that's like so surreal from when I was a kid wanting to do this to actually having to go through it. and seeing that the presence in on like that moment and feeling it because we're actually crying. We're actually crying about this. This is real stuff. Like there's a scene on season 4 I was in, and I'm gonna say it, but Rayma, she gets in a situation, I could just say that much, and we get really very teary. And
Yes.
even being there in presence, it's just it's so it's just so touching. It's real. It's there.
And I feel it coming through the phones right now as we're doing
Yeah,
the
you feel
Zoom
that?
call. Like I
Yeah, yeah, for
totally get
sure.
it. Cause
Most
um
definitely.
so was this your very first casting that you've done?
I've done as far as a
Yeah.
TV show goes,
Hmm.
yes, that would be one of my more breakout featured
Hmm.
roles for sure. And then I bounced off and doing Linus. If
Hmm.
you heard of Linus, it's on Paramount Plus as well with Zoe Saldana, and Morgan Freeman, Nicole Kidman.
Nice.
And I was on that as well. You could catch me on that on episode 1. I'm on that one, Beware the Old Soldier, and I'm on the last episode 8. So that closes the season 2 of Linus as well. So
Yes.
like being a part of the first, like, so I've been on been on a show called Paul the Last Apostle, and so
Okay.
that was more of my breakout to get
Hmm.
into the chosen, and it kind
Yes.
of started to network into like Linus, then Landman. I also go get
Mhm.
to that in a second, and Landman as well, and being and just connecting with people. It's how God really works through you and puts you to where you really need to be, and people have to understand that you're not going to get it right away. It's just something you have to actually manifest and really live it, and God
Mhm.
really works through it. It's very powerful to actually go through it. And I will actually tell you this though, what got me back into, because I was living that life, if you know what I'm saying, before,
Mhm.
and I
Yes.
finally had to change my life because the people that were around me, and so I decided to go to Cali. That was in
Yes.
2023.
Mhm.
I was walking past Hollywood Boulevard. Somebody tapped me on the shoulder. Yo, I'm from Dallas. Somebody tapping you
Mhm.
on your shoulder. Yo, whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on now? You know what I mean? So I'm like, what's up, man? Like, he's like, hey, do you want to be on a TV show? And I was like, yeah. Well, what is the TV show though? He said he went like that. I looked across, it said Jimmy Kimmel. I was like, oh, okay, let's run it. So we ran a little sketch where I did a little Jimmy Kimmel sketch, and it was live on ABC. And I was actually on the set whenever they did release it the year after. But that
Mhm.
moment on, it was like a momentum grabber through God, and I knew instantly. I was like, "This is His sign. Let's go. We're pushing through. We're gonna keep doing that." So I went to acting school, and I went to classes, and I kept taking it, and I still am taking it. And I kept going and going and going, and finally got to where I need to be. And I didn't know I was gonna end up in The Chosen. I've heard about it
Yeah.
before in 2020, but I didn't know I was gonna end up on it. So
Mhm.
just living in the present moment just took me to where I needed to be, and led me off into Linus, and led me off into Landman. It led me to Paul as Apostle, because my manager, she got me into Paul as Apostle, and then
Mhm.
from there it
Mhm.
just kept going and going. It was a momentum grabber, and so from there on out it's just been more, and especially for this year it's been more
Mhm.
feature roles, because I started off as a background. And then you got to keep in mind too that when I was younger, at I'm jumping all over the place, but back in 7th grade, I used to do theater. So the theater then went to high school. Then I started to do film background. Then I started to work more to the feature. Now I'm doing self tapes, and now I'm trying to do the best I can do in every direction I can go to, and
Mhm.
doing scripts and reads and all that stuff on self. Like after I'm done here, I'll be right
Mhm.
back on doing self tapes. So it's just auditioning, going and going, not looking back. But not to say don't look back, but keep going forward. Forward, forward. Anybody tells you slows you down, get about get about the grind because I need to go against it. I need to keep grinding. That's just been my it's always been my thing. And anything that comes negative around me, I'm shutting it down. I just this the mentality that I have taken to the levels that I'm at. And so it's just being humble and trying to stay more humble about things is what I'm working at age 36. Like I just
Yes.
turned 36. So it's
Okay.
like racing against time, but I'm not because I know
Yeah.
that I'm working with him. He
Mhm.
knows that I'm on his time and I can only work on his time. So I don't ever stress about nothing else, you know. I just live in
Mhm.
that moment.
Yes, yes. And that's what a lot of anyone going after their dreams, it sounds like something that you would tell them in their mindset of staying focused, to don't give up, release negative energy. Because, I mean, that's true. Because even with what I do and what we are doing in this world and making a difference, allowing having a platform, we tend to have battles. And I know when you're playing certain roles like chosen and stuff, totally you know that the evil forces is gonna try to come after you hard, 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 to try to make you be like, no, God's prophecy isn't real, what he told you. And it's
All
like I feel like most people like us may do you ever find yourself in that point where you might have a wrestle back and forth? You might kind of second guess, but then like, no, that's a block. I gotta block that out. You gotta stay in a straight and narrow.
Yeah, I love all the time. And there's people that will like look at you a different way and say, oh, you're this type of, you live like this, but then again, you gotta remember, we're just actors.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
just acting, but at the
yeah,
same time, but we're living in that. So
yeah.
with whether they like it or they do or not, or if they be like, oh, you're doing that, or instead of that, I always look at that moment that I lived for him. So I was the people that say, oh, you're in the you're in the chosen, which is it's taken off back when I did season 4, it wasn't as big as it is now. Like it just
Yeah.
took off.
It is big. Like people were like, "Hey, you gotta watch The
Yeah,
Chosen."
yeah,
I'm like, I have to go catch up on quite a much of it, but it is very powerful. And I think it's awesome that you've gotten into doing different roles. I saw your clip with Jimmy Kimmel. I
yeah.
was dying laughing. You nailed it. I was like, oh my god, it's so
That's funny.
funny.
So yeah, we did talk about that before. When I did do that. Uh, and he was telling me, "Hey, Kenny, we're gonna run this, but we're gonna run." Of course, we talked about it before.
Yeah.
Uh, I will have to talk about that on here. We did talk about saying the ABCs backwards. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, bring it, just show me, just bring it, and I'll go ahead and I'll improvise with what we need to do. And it just fell out that I didn't think I was gonna land and to Jimmy Kimmel. The reason why is it took a year to before they dropped it, and I didn't know it would take them a while.
Oh.
But what happened was that when I did do that, I walked away. I was walking down. I was visiting California because I got family there,
Mm-hmm.
and then as I came back, passing through Jimmy Kimmel's, as I walked through Hollywood, I came back. Somebody walked up to me that was working for Jimmy, and he was like, "Hey man, come here, Kenny, Kenny." Because you remember they were like Kenny, like they knew I was like Kenny, you you're actually gonna be on it. And when he told me that, I didn't know it was one of the assistants that told me
Yeah.
that. And I didn't know if he was just joking or not.
Mm.
And then the next year, I'm on the Chosen for season 4, and I get a bunch of text message from on my phone saying, "Hey Kenny, you're on TV." I said, "I'm not on TV right now. I'm working on it. I'm working on a show right now.
Mhm.
Like there's no way I could be on TV." They're like, "No, you're on TV, man." I got another text. Hey, dude, you're on Jimmy Kimmel, and I was like, "Oh." Then I start seeing my teachers post it, and
Um,
I had a few teachers that told me back then, "Hey, Kenny," because I'm ADHD. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm all over the place, hey, dude,
it's
everywhere.
okay. We all
Yeah,
have those
yeah.
issues
But
sometimes.
I'm me. So my teachers always, Kenny, I was a class clown type, so I was always distracting the classes, and whatnot. But she told me, my teacher, my math teacher told me, I'll never forget. Sorry, Miss Anderson, but she said that I'll never make it on TV. So I
Oh
said, "Oh, okay,
man.
bet, bet, bet. That sounds good. That sounds good." In my mind, well, about 18 years later, man, I'm on TV. But it's not like I try to do that. It's more like this is what I wanted to do when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
This is what God put me on this earth for. I had to figure this out. 36 years figuring this out.
Mm-hmm.
To figure out who you are to become a better actor. Figure out how to become the better version of yourself to become a better actor, to become better at this art. So
Yes.
I had to keep grinding and figuring out, okay, I don't need to be around this. And I can easily fall off the track. Easy. That can happen so quick. It can still
Mm-hmm.
happen. The hard part was to stay focused and stay
Mm.
on track because you can easily get knocked off track. Then you could lead off into doing other things and you just wandering and especially with my mind. So yeah, and then but staying on track was one thing that I definitely learned to do is to stay. You gotta chill and just be you and just sit
Mm-hmm.
back and look at the situation sometimes like, okay,
That's
this is this is real. This is what I'm gonna have to be patient with this. So yeah, it took time and looking back at my old clips, I'm like, damn, I was really hyper. Still am. I'm still hyper, don't get me wrong, but it was a lot more crazier hyper. Now it's more like, okay, let me sit back, think about things. So it's a growing process and it's a never-ending process of learning in this industry and anything else you do too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a factor for
That
sure.
is wonderful. This interview has been so enlightened and great. You've nailed so many different key points and just parts of your career. I am so excited for you.
Thank you
And
so much.
just how the story of how you got on Jimmy Kimmel, guys, let this encourage you that is moving in their life and in their careers of trying to be an actor, whatever you want. The point is never give up. And it could be just one random day you're walking down the street and someone tap you. Hey, do you want to be in a movie? Or be on TV? You never know. Be you to the fullest. If you want to express how you dress, the way that you dress through that can capture people immediately. Your personality, all that good stuff. I think it was a pleasure having you on the show, Kenny.
For
Thank you
sure.
so much for
You're
reaching
awesome, man.
out.
You're so awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll
I
be in touch.
appreciate you having me on the show. I'm
No,
sorry about the timing. I was like, I even got, I was like, oh snap. I'm like,
you know,
I looked at the
it's
time, it's like
okay.
12 o'clock. I'm forgetting. I always do this with my other managers. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, she's like, Kenny, you're an hour late. I said, what do you mean I'm an hour late? Dang, I forgot we're on a different time zone.
Time zone, yeah, that's what I was like.
I
Oh my God, we're on
was
a
like,
totally different time zone. Matter of fact, what time is it right now in Dallas? Because I have
it's 12:27
Oh,
here
see,
right now.
yep. You guys are an hour behind us, and I'm in Ohio. So
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
forgot that, and I didn't know exactly where you were living, but I know you said that you were from Texas, but
Hmm.
we might be from where we are, but we travel a lot.
Oh
But
yeah,
I
for
know
sure.
now. So if
Most
I ever
definitely.
have you come back on, I know
Yeah.
exactly where an hour
Yeah, I was like,
behind.
oh yeah, Jeanette, you gotta be out this time. I bet I gotta be there an hour before. So
And
for
I
sure, that's
apologize.
most definitely.
It wasn't even all your fault. I forgot. I should have asked you what time zone you were in.
Oh,
But this has been amazing, man. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
I want to say one last thing
Oh
to the
yeah.
people out there. No matter how old you are, no matter what your age is, people don't get discouraged about it. It doesn't matter. He has your time. Just push forward and do and live in that present moment, people. This is serious because there is no age. There is no such thing as there's a time, if
Mhm.
that makes any sense. There's moments. And so live those moments. And
Yes.
that's one thing I have to say.
Now tell everybody where to find you on your social media so they can
And
follow you.
catch me on Facebook, Instagram. I have a link tree. It's a link tree / Kenny Denda, KennyDynda, and Facebook as well. Kenny Denda. And then IG as well. I'm on that as well as YouTube. So you just type Kenny Denda, KENNYDYNDA, and it'll pop up. One on the app on Facebook, Instagram.
Hmm.
You could go on there and check me out on there, and that's where I'll be. And you'll see a bunch of updates on there that are things that I do just specifically for this industry for acting. And I'm
Nice.
looking forward to working with you again on an interview. And by then, hopefully, there'll be some bigger things I can talk about. So that
Yeah.
sounds good. I really appreciate you having me. Janae, you're awesome. Thank you so much. It's a
Thank
blessing.
you. And that's what you hear right here from your girl Treasure Piece on Boss Shit Gossip. Stream live on Rappin Lounge Radio. It is going to be from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., you guys. Also on iHeart and Apple Music and Live 365. Deuces!